Today we are playing Jorm Gondar, the World Serpent. He is from Norse mythology, and everyone calls him Jorm because his full name is a mouthful. So, yeah, we're playing Jorm. He is a good guardian support, quote unquote support from Smite 1. In Smite 1, people did do some troll builds with him where they went a lot of power and just shred people. Whereas I mostly like to play him like a traditional tank or guardian with a lot of protections and health. In Smite 2, given the current meta and the way people build kin size and soul reaver at the end of the game, we will not be going a lot of health because you're just going to get shredded. The soul reaver would enable the enemy mage to do way more damage to you than they would if you weren't going a lot of health. And that actually, yeah, commit. I want this. Yep, I'm happy with that. Where was I going with this conversation? Yeah, the Soul Reaver would allow them to do, or Kin Size will allow them to do more damage to you than they normally could if you weren't building a lot of health. So we're gonna go very minimal health. That means no Gauntlet of Thebes, no Leviathan's Hide, which is actually quite broken in Yorm until they go Kin Size or Soul Reaver, then they just shred you. But if they don't go those items, Yorm with Leviathan's Hide is troll. Like, you are basically unkillable. But here we're gonna go a lot of Prot Shred. So Yorm has this ability that makes him stand out, which is his 3. However, what you want to max out first is the 2 because the 2 does more damage based on intelligence and strength scaling, which is why our starter item is Axe, Warrior Axe. I'm gonna get over there and knock her up. Now this is the third ability I'm talking about where you go invisible underground, and when you emerge, you knock up the enemy. And this might... Ooh, okay. Let's get out of here. Yep, my 3 is up on time. I did not use my health chalices, which is why I got so low. That was my bad. I was just so focused on describing my intended troll build. Because this is in fact a troll build, but I think it only works in Jormungandr because of his 3 and the consistency of his knockups. Because you're invisible while you're using it until you emerge, the enemy typically doesn't know where you are, and you typically always land it if you're within range. The problem with that is once you land it, you're right in front of the enemy, just like Hades. However, the follow-up with his 2, which is why we're maxing it out first, is that you will deal an insane amount of damage to them that they wouldn't even want to fight with you. They just want to retreat. And I can give you an example of that on the wave. You 1, 3, 2, and you can just clear a wave like that. But of course, we're maxing out the 2 first. After we max out the 2, we're maxing out the 3, and then the 1, and then the ultimate last. The ultimate is mostly an escape or an engage tool to start the team fight. So we're gonna go Void Stone, which reduces the enemy magical procs by 10% when they're within 8 meters of you. If they're close to you, they have less magical protection. That's the gist of it. And that'll allow, we'll get the damage we just did. And that's to a tank. Yeah, this character is good. If you're playing against a lot of dodgy, you can play Yorm. You go Leviathan's Hide early game. That way she can't really shred you until she gets either Heartseeker, Kin Size, or anything that does damage to some max health. But look at that. We can just pester the entire enemy team. We can clear a wave with our 2. We have total control of this battlefield. I need to get my item. So, Void Shield, what is he doing? Oh, she got me in this. He's still engaging? Okay, I have to ult. We're ulting just to keep them away from our Mordred. We're not really trying to kill anyone with this. Look at the damage. Although Daji didn't do most of the damage, but still. And that's a full team wipe. Meanwhile, I was trying to back. If I had my item, I would have gotten one of those kills. Although I am 2-0. Anyways, so we're gonna go Voidstone into Stone of Binding into Glad Shield. Voidstone reduces, this is tempting because it actually, Mystic Mail works well with Voidstone, but we're gonna stick to the Troll Dream. There's this dream I have of this build, and I know it works mostly on There it is. Stone of Binding reduces broad stacks up to 3 times. So in our ult, we submerge and emerge 3 times. We can have 3 knockups during our ultimate, which will proc all 3 charges of Stone of Binding, reducing the enemy protection by 21 total. And then our Void Stone reduces the enemy protections by 10% if they're within 8 meters of you. And Jorm, being a close range character, he has to be right in front of you to use most of his abilities, except there's one. And that's the only ability that does not scale with strength. So long as we're just interacting with them, we are shredding their armor with R3 and ultimate, and of course doing a lot of damage with R2. That's the thought process. Also, Warrior's Axe will proc on any damage at all, including your basic attacks. This build should work, and of course, Glad Shield will help you do more damage based on your protections. This could work on Bacchus if you can land his belly flops easy, because he has 2 ways to proc Son of Binding. But to the best of my knowledge, only Jorm can proc Son of Binding. Actually, no, I'm lying. Only Jorm and Baron can proc Son of Binding 3 times with one ability. Jorm with his ult, Baron with his ult as well, because it's a pull, it's a displacement. So each time it pulls you, it should proc Stone of Binding. Theoretically, I need to try it out though. Also, I would not do this on Baron because most of his abilities work at range, and you wouldn't get much value out of Void Stone unless you ult them, and then they're right in front of you. But yeah, stacks 3 times. Now we need Glad Shield. So with Jorm, the strategy is simple. You throw your 1 at them, and that procs your Warrior's Axe. You go up to them and use your 3, of course, because you're submerged. They can't see you just walking up to them. Once you knock them up, you have proc Stone of Binding, and of course Void Stone, because they're right in front of you, so they have reduced protections. That is the strat. Look at that. And that's to a fellow tank, so he has a lot of protections, and I'm just shredding like that. Okay, I cannot be inside here. Perfect, he walked out. Look at the damage. This is just so funny. And I don't know who needs to see this, but if you're tired of seeing a lot of enemy mages or Daji in every game, you can use this build. If the enemy has 2 physical and 1 magical, do not go Void Stone first. You will die. Go Glad Shield into Stone of Binding and then into Void Stone. So I went Stone of Binding first, not Stone of Binding, Void Stone first, because they have 2 magical healers, which are Ged and Janice, and then 1 physical. So it made sense to go this way. You want a dedicated protection item of the dominant damage type you're gonna be receiving first. That way, you actually don't feed your brains out. Also, it helps if the item has health. I know you can go a protection item that has a dominant type of damage you'll be receiving without having any health in it. That's not going to work. You're going to get burst out because they still have another teammate that does a damage type that you did not account for, and you don't have any health to keep you alive, which is why I said Glad Shield instead of just any physical protection item. To reiterate or to further explain what I'm saying, wow, he just went the other way around. Okay, cool. If they have Daji into Anherd and Janice, go a physical protection item that has health. That way, when Janice hits you and you have no magical protections, you still have health to help keep you alive. That's what I'm saying. I know that was a long explanation, but trust me, with the way people think lately, it's best to explain yourself so nothing is misunderstood. Because you're saying one thing, they're hearing another thing, and then they're telling someone else another thing from what they heard. Anyways. We have full control of this lane. Janice can't really do much to me because I have magical protections, a lot of it. Instead of Binding gives both physical and magical protections. Now we have damage with Glad Shield. What do I want next? That's the real question. We need cooldown, yeah. So you can go any cooldown item, but we need mana as well, which is why this item kind of makes sense. Genji's guard. Plus, with the cooldown passive, we should be able to get value from it. She does not know I'm here. And she... Okay, she just ulted him for no reason. But she did not go in. She just walked away, huh? Okay. Yeah, Medusa does not want smoke. What is going on here? We're gonna creep up on him. I want this Janus. Look at the damage. Oh, that is just so... Okay. Well, he can do that. He's Janus. And I can do this. I'm Jorm. He got out of it. But yeah. What is she doing? She's not moving. She's not moving. Okay. Not sure what happened there. And he just hit there. My teammate hit on the other side and she just stood there. Okay. Well, rage quit. Oh, she rage quit. I can't really post this video, so I guess we're just playing now. It is what it is. Honestly, it's been hard to get a good video lately, because... Oh wow, Jorm is he's just rushing a lot of cooldown, which would have worked against the Bacchus, because it'll be a battle of cooldown. Also, Geb has Selflessness starter, and then he has a shield. I could go Erosion, but I already have a particular troll build in mind, so we're not going to go Erosion. We'll see if we can win without trying to weaken his shields. And I know all the supports typically go Sunder. In Joust, I don't see the point in going Sunder. If you're a support, go either Shell, so you can shield your teammates, like Geb did. Or just go Aegis like I did. That way you can just full commit, and just before they can kill you, you can just Aegis and they waste abilities on you, and your teammates can finish up the enemy that no longer has any abilities because they use it all on you. That's the thought process. Like, yeah, if they land those abilities, it's gonna hurt, but if they waste it while you're Aegis, then it's just wasted. And unless you're their guardian or their mage, you should not have a lot of cooldown. So this Medusa should not have a lot of cooldown. This Geb, on the other hand, does. We are bursting him. He's trying to fight me. He's autoing me. Aegis. And now we do that to her. She's shielded by Geb twice, and we still did that much damage. If I go Erosion, we would shred completely, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to block off their escape. Okay. Maybe I should just retreat. I really thought Dodgy would be able to clean that up, but for some reason, or he should get out of there. Geb has shields. What is he doing? Okay. He has shields in his kit. He has Selflessness, which will shield the enemy if they're hit by hard CC. For example, when I knock someone up with my 3, they're going to be shielded instantly because Geb exists with Selflessness. And look at that shield on Janus already. I'm just going to kill him. Yeah, because he used his shield to protect Janus. Worth it to me. So, despite all those shields, we're still getting kills. And I know that if we get Erosion, we will get... Oh, we're top damage. I am top damage. Look at that. Look at my build, and I'm top damage. So yeah, if we get Erosion, it won't even be a fair fight anymore. Jorm already has a lot of pressure. Let them keep their shields. It's not going to save them. Although I expected this Dodgy to do more damage, to be honest, because Dodgy is completely broken. You think Jorm is bad? Dodgy early game would just dive you, shred you, walk away. The character design is flawless, so I'm not even mad because it's like, god damn. But still though, like, did I really have to die that early in the game? Special delivery. And now he is shredded twice. Here comes the third. Body block. Look at him. He is half health. He is half health, people. Janus trying to portal me. It doesn't do anything to Jorm. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I like Jorm. Yes, he does take increased damage, but he's immune to CC. And when you're up against someone that you can't just, like, displace, then you have to change the way you fight them. And I completely missed that. It's right in front of me, but I missed. This Medusa is looking at me, so we're just gonna back off for a bit. I love this ability, the Submerge. It takes off about half the width of a lane, but still. You land that, you instantly proc Shred with this build. Where's that one item that does anti-heal and gives power? I can't remember the name. Do I even need... let's get it anyways. I want it for the power, not because of the healing or anti-heal passive. This one, Brawler's Beat Stick. So that'll be the second intelligence item we have. And then we're going to upgrade our starter for more strength. That'll help our 2 and 3 do more damage. Our ult as well. Knocked up, he is shelled. Or he is shielded by his selflessness. And she's dead. And then Geb still has his shield. He hasn't used it yet. Look at that. There's his shield. Okay. Just before dying. Okay, completely whiffed that. He just moved away. I think Janus is waiting to ult me. I can just go a separate direction and back, but oh wow. Okay. We knocked him up just so it wouldn't be like we walked away without doing anything. I'm gonna have to choose. Oh, there's Janus ult. I'm gonna have to choose between upgrading my starter or the last item. The starter makes more sense because it gives you more protections. So does the last item. But that extra strength will help the scaling with this hybrid scaler, Jorm. If they think I can't defend this wave, they're trolling. He got shielded by Geb. Geb took a lot of damage from me, and he wasn't even the intended target. What is he doing? If Geb wasn't here, I would just kill this Janus. Straight up. I'm not even trying to be funny, like. Look at my damage. I need to get my starter. Alright, we are set. Also, let's take a moment to admire the design. When you're this high up, you can see the castles and everything, the giant bell. The design of this map, I know, is supposed to be a battleground between King Arthur and Mordred. Mordred is in the game, but Arthur is not in the game yet. I know there's going to be a bunch of troll YouTubers going more... Oh, wow. I'm not sure how they shredded me so quickly, but they did. But I am Jorm, so we can just do this and get away. This is another reason why I said this build would probably work on Bacchus. Not so well in Hades, because Bacchus has a lot of mobility. So long as you're not fighting a Poseidon, that is. Poseidon can actually trap Bacchus and anyone else with mobility. I can't go in there because Medusa is here. There we go. This Mordred just seems very interested in fighting whenever Geb is around, and he takes 2v1 fights. And I don't think he can actually win a 2v1, and she is shielded again. I should have gone Erosion, honestly, but nah. I had a build in mind, and I'm sticking to it. Gonna proc my axe. Okay. I want to kill this Geb, but I don't think I could stick around, so I'm just gonna clear this wave. Our tower is still basically full health. And Daji just killed Janice. I did not even notice that was happening in the background until it was over. We have that item, and yeah, health pots. Because I'm still not sure how they shredded me so quickly. I should have enough protections of both kind. But then again, it's late game. Everyone's scaling. This should be the go-to hybrid build because you have decent cooldown between Glad's Shield, Genji's Guard, and Freya's Tears. About 45 cooldown, I think. You have decent prods. You have very little health, actually. About 350 health is what we've built. Because I did not want the enemy building kin size or Soul Reaver and shredding half my health from 2 abilities. Is just, at that point, why even build tank? Look at the damage from the prod shred. This is not a bastard. I saw her ult winding up and I ulted. She is just dead. She is just dead. He's using life binder as well. How many shields does this Geb have and he's still losing? It's just funny, like, selflessness gives a shield. He has a shield in his kit, there's 3. Then life binder, or am I misseeing that? Who has that life binder actually? Anyways, they only have one person left, Janice. Janice can in fact steal the... Actually, no, we already did that. Yeah, this match is basically over. Let me know if you like this build, and if you have any suggestions on who else it could work well on. It works well on Jorm because he has an escape with his ult, and he has a submerge, which gives him a lot of mobility. I think it'll work on Bacchus because Bacchus has a lot of mobility with his leap, his belly flop, but you need someone who is quite mobile to use this build on. And someone who can proc Stone of Binding multiple times. That way you actually get the full 21% proc shred value from it. That's what I think at least. So this will not work on Geb unless he uses his ult and his knockup, and then even at that he only procs it twice. So you see the problem? Like, you need someone who can do it multiple times, which is either Jorm or Baron. Those are the 2 that I know of that can do that. Actually, there's a 3rd person, I just thought about it. Eset. Because she has like a million abilities. The tower is stunned, so there is no point in just sitting outside the tower. Look at the damage. Yeah, I just realized Eset should be able to proc Stone of Binding multiple times because she has a million abilities. She has a silence, a stun, and then I believe another stun with her ult, so that's 3 times total. It should work on Eset. That's GG. Subscribe to Cutemeister on YouTube. Top damage. So there was no life binder. I kept seeing some kind of weird shield thing on me. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Oh well. Like and subscribe.